Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening. From wherever you're joining, please feel free to share on the chat option where you're joining us from. I really appreciate you joining us this evening. So tonight we have a special guest, Christina Olaru. And Christina is going to be taking us through PMI Infinity and just for us to understand more about PMI Infinity. So I'm not going to take much time. I'm going to pass it over to Christina to lead us in today's conversation. Over to you, Christina. Thank you. And welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Anthony. And hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out of your evening to join us for this session to learn more about PMI Infinity. My name is Christina Olaru. I'm a product operations specialist at PMI. I've been at PMI for more than 10 years now in various roles. I was supporting actually leading academic engagement across various regions. I was a product owner with the emerging products department at PMI. And for over 18 months now, I've been supporting PMI Infinity. So I'm very excited to take you through a demo of PMI Infinity this evening, show you the main functionality and how you can take advantage of it so that you are more effective and more successful in your project work. I see people are still trickling in. But maybe before we start with the presentation, I wanted to ask you if you would be kind enough to answer a couple of questions using Slido. So I will be sharing my screen. I hope everyone can see it. And if you can, maybe scan the QR code with your phone or join Slido and put in the number and answer the question. I have a couple of questions only now and maybe one at the end. And I'm curious if you are using AI or Gen AI in your day-to-day work. Hopefully you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you, Anthony, for confirming. All right. I see the bars still moving, so we'll give it a few more minutes on this question. Fantastic. Thank you all for participating. This is very insightful. All right, so I see that the majority of you are using AI and Gen AI regularly. Amazing. And there are some people that have not used Gen AI and some that are use it sometimes. And I see the numbers keep changing, so maybe I'll give it one more minute on this question. All right, so I think this is still changing, but what I'm happy to see is that the majority of you are using Gen AI, which is fantastic. And then my next question is, what is your familiarity with PMI Infinity? Are you familiar with it and have used it before? Or maybe you are familiar with it but have not tried, maybe just heard the name, or you are maybe not familiar at all. You know it's out there, but you don't know what this is about. Again, thank you so much for participating and for answering these questions. All right, fantastic, fantastic. Many of you are not familiar with it, which is great because the purpose of this session is to get you familiar with PMI Infinity. I see a small number of you have used it, and then some of you are maybe familiar with it. Maybe you've been in there once, but you really have not used it. All right. Okay, great. So I'm going to start sharing the Slido now. And I have a few slides to start with, just to give you a little bit of introduction on PMI Infinity. And then I will actually jump right into Infinity and walk you through the application live. All right, so Just 1 second. Hopefully you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Oh, yes, yes, we can.
All right, fantastic. I'm going to start sharing. And actually, I have just a very short video to start with. Hopefully you can hear the sound. If not, feel free to interrupt me.
Achieve more with PMI Infinity. Access project management insights from a trusted source of over 15,000 expert vetted content pieces. Learn through real-world scenarios to sharpen your skills with hands-on training and expert-led simulations. Or outsource the busy work by generating documents and accessing recommended templates and checklists so you can focus on what truly matters. PMI Infinity, your AI-powered project coach. Achieve.
All right, so hopefully you were able to hear that and get a very brief introduction to PMI Infinity, what we like to call your AI-powered project coach that can help you learn more and do more and basically achieve project success. Why PMI Infinity? Wanted to share a little bit with you about what our vision is for PMI Infinity. We want this to be a tool that is dedicated to project professionals specifically, that provides personalized just-in-time learning, analytics, actionable insights, community-driven knowledge, all in an integrated, secure, and adaptive ecosystems to enable project professionals to have better decision-making and to continuously drive project success. A brief history of PMI Infinity, some of the most important milestones. So PMI Infinity was launched in beta in October of 2023 at the PMI Global Summit in Atlanta. And then the global launch was in January 2024. Now, if you are not familiar with this, PMI Infinity is actually a benefit for PMI members. So if you are a member of PMI, you have free access to PMI Infinity. So you have it as part of your membership benefit, so you can go right in. If you are not a member of PMI, though, PMI has a 30-day free membership trial, which gives you access to a few of the membership benefits, and Infinity is one of them. So if you are not a PMI member but would like to try PMI Infinity and see what it can do and how it can support you, you can take advantage of the membership trial to explore it. But since February 2024, as you see on the slide, PMI Infinity was launched as a member-only access. And then in September of 2024, we launched PMI Infinity 2.0 with enhanced functionality and capabilities, and I'll go through some of that functionality. And we're continuing to make updates to it. We made a foundational update in March of 2025, and then a personalization update in May of 2024. And in a few moments, you will understand what I mean with those updates. All right, here I have the key features of PMI Infinity. So if you are familiar with other GenAI tools, maybe like ChatGPT or Claude, or PMI Infinity is similar to those. It's a GPT, but it's specific to project professionals. And not only that, but it's backed by the entire PMI knowledge base. So all the PMI standards, practice guides, the PMBOK guide, community-generated knowledge from projectmanagement.com, our library, all of that goes into PMI Infinity, and the information that you receive in PMI Infinity is based on that knowledge base. So I wanted to make sure you know that. PMI Infinity is powered by GPT-4o and GPT 3.5. But that being said, I also want to mention that PMI Infinity is a secure environment. So PMI Infinity only learns from the PMI content. It doesn't learn from the information that you input, from your prompts. And we do not share your data. We do not share your data with OpenAI or with any other third party. So it is a secure environment for you. That said, when using PMI Infinity, as with any other Gen AI, is best to just follow practices for using Gen AI and do not share any sensitive or confidential information. All right, all of the other functionality that you see here is something that I will show in the application. And you also have a QR code here. So if you scan it, it will take you to the PMI Infinity landing page. And on that landing page, you will be able to see a call out if you are not a member for the free membership trial that I just mentioned, or if you are a member, you will be taken to the login page where you will put your membership credentials and you will be taken to PMI Infinity. And now I'm going to showcase some of the features here, but then I'll jump right into the application. But this is the tailored experience that I was mentioning at the beginning. This is something that we launched in June, and it's a tailored onboarding experience. Is very short. We have 2 questions that we are asking Infinity users, and these are optional, by the way, so you can skip them. But if you choose to answer, then we'll take that information and make your experience more personalized. So for example, these homepage prompts that you see in the backend, and I'll show you in a minute in the application, that's something that we will personalize based on the information that you share with us. So the questions are really simple. The first one is, what's your primary goal for using PMI Infinity today? And you can select among these goals and then get very detailed with what your needs are. Or if your goal is not among the options that we provided, you can select other primary goal and you can input your information manually. And then we also ask which project types do you usually work on? And again, you can select all that apply. So multiple, go into details about your needs, or select other project type and then type in your answer. And then, yeah, these are just 2 questions. And as I mentioned, we use these details to personalize your experience. So these homepage prompts that you see here will be based on the information that you're providing. All right, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment and go directly into the application. All right, hope everybody can see my screen. Okay, I see some thumbs up, so I'll continue. So this is what you see when you log into PMI Infinity. It says, welcome back, and I'm not getting the onboarding experience because I'm a regular PMI Infinity user, so that's only if you're a new user or if you have not logged in more than a month, let's say. But still, as you see here on the homepage of PMI Infinity, you still have some suggested prompts. And these are dynamic, meaning that these are changing based on your interaction with Infinity or topics that are trending in PMI Infinity. So you can hover over them and see what topics are suggested. And if any of them is of interest to you, you can just launch them with 1 click. And PMI Infinity will provide you with the answer. So in this case, it's developing a checklist for conducting stakeholder engagement health checks. And PMI Infinity provided the checklist. What I want to call out about PMI Infinity, and this is something that maybe differentiates Infinity from other similar GPTs or similar products, is the fact that it cites the sources that it used for your responses. So as I mentioned, PMI Infinity is backed by our entire knowledge base, and that knowledge base is used to respond to the prompt or the queries that you put in PMI Infinity. And here, whenever available, you can see exactly what sources were used. So for example, in this case, to power your response, Infinity has used 3 sources. And you can actually click on any of them and it will take you right to the source. So this is, for example, the standard for earned value management. If you click on it, it will take you to the page where you can download the standard and you can go to that respective page. So in case you want to go deeper into the information, or you want to verify something, or you just want to cite the sources, then you have them here. And this is what makes PMI Infinity like a trusted collaborator or coach, is because you can verify the information that it provides. We also encourage you, if you are satisfied with the answers, to give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you are not satisfied with it. That's our way of getting feedback from users, and we very much appreciate that. And you can also copy the message, the response. Also, PMI Infinity provides related questions. So these are related to your initial prompt. So you can see some suggestions for how to continue the communication with Infinity. If you click on any of them, Infinity will launch them. And then you can continue the conversation, or you can type in here whatever you want to ask PMI Infinity. Another thing that I wanted to show you in the chat experience is the possibility to upload documents. So here you can upload either PDF or Word documents to PMI Infinity, and you can actually upload more than one document at a time. And then you can ask Infinity questions on those documents. You can ask Infinity to analyze the documents for you, summarize them. So for example, maybe you have a lengthy report that you need to read. You can upload it to PMI Infinity and ask it for the main points. Or you can ask if you have notes from a meeting to summarize them and provide you with action items. Or if they're more, project management related documents, you can ask Infinity to perform different actions on that. All right. So hopefully you got an idea of how to utilize the chat experience, and also what makes the Infinity chat experience a little bit more unique. Now I want to call out here the menu on the left-hand side, which is some additional functionality that you might find interesting. So we have a PMI Infinity prompt library. So many of you in the Slido said that you are maybe not, or some of you said that you are not yet using AI, Gen AI. So when you come to PMI Infinity, you might not know what to ask it at first. So we created this library of prompts, and we've done this with the help of our community who created and vetted this prompt. So you can see here we have featured prompts. So you can browse through them, and then you have them organized by topic. So for example, you can go to the Agile prompts and see if any of these are something that you might want to explore. And then if you click on this, this will launch specifically this prompt in the chat. What I've also heard some of our users are doing is that they come to the prompt library and they go through these prompts, but then they add additional context to it. So instead of just say, create a daily stand-up meeting agenda, you may say, I'm a project manager, I'm a scrum master in charge of this type of project, and I'm interested in a daily stand-up meeting agenda, and please give it to me in, let's say, a table format. So you can enhance this prompt. You can give Infinity context, more context to these prompts, so that Infinity provides you with like more specific, more tailored information to what you need. So I invite you to explore the whole library of prompts and see what PMI Infinity can do. What we have next is guided experiences. So these are, this is a way to learn about some more complex topics, such as trustworthy AI or ESG or managing AI projects. We've developed this in partnership with some subject matter experts, some partner organizations like the Center for Creative Leadership, Green Project Management, Cognilytica, which is now part of PMI. And the idea with these learning experiences is that you learn in a more interactive way. So it's a two-way street in the learning, and I will show you how such a learning experience might look like. So for example, learning about trustworthy AI. So if you go into the learning experience, this is what you see at first. So you're welcomed and you are told more information about the guided experiences, what it introduces you to, and the fact that these lessons provides practical guidance on integrating these trustworthy AI principles into AI project management processes and so on. And this will be different for each of the learning experiences. And then PMI Infinity will ask you, are you ready to begin? So if you are, then you say yes, and then it dives into the first key topic. So it's telling you what the key topic is. So you learn some information, and then there's a reflective question asking you basically to reflect on these 5 layers of the trustworthy AI framework, and then you type in your answer. So you collaborate with PMI Infinity, and then PMI Infinity will respond to your prompt, and then the lesson will continue. And these instructions are slightly different for each guided experience. In some cases, it will tell you a little bit more details, what the outcomes are. It will also tell you how to navigate, like type in next for the next question, or how you can live the experience. So again, I recommend you explore them. We have some excellent topics that are included here. Giving feedback that works, constructive email writer, leading projects effectively, PMO focused topics. So again, these have been crafted carefully with our partners, and they can be a great source for deepening your knowledge in some of these topics. So I hope you you go and you explore them. And then we have the tools section, and this is an AI generated document. So here you get to get a head start on your project charter and risk management plan utilizing this tool. So I'm just gonna take a few minutes to show you how this works. So for example, let's say we're looking at the project charter. So it provides you some information about how this works. And I'm going to walk you through it. So you can see here, PMI Infinity is asking you for some information on your project in order to be able to generate your project charter. But not all the fields are required. Actually, for the project charter, only the summary and the project description are required. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to fill in some information and show you what PMI Infinity can do and how the project charter that it generates will look like and how it can help you. So let's say for the summary that I'm developing an innovative health and fitness app. So this is the summary of my project. And then I am going to provide it with the project description. So I told Infinity that I'm developing an innovative health and fitness app that will enhance the workout, nutrition, and lifestyle habits of users. And the software will analyze data and provide personalized recommendations for users. So this is the information that I have handy now. So this is what I'm giving to PMI Infinity. And you'll see there are several steps, and Infinity is going to ask you for more information on your project, like, for example, the scope and deliverables, if you have inclusions, exclusions, or major deliverables, and then budget information. But you don't have to input all of that. Now, also, the more you give PMI Infinity, the more complete the project charter will be. But even if you give it only that little piece of information, you will see that it will still draft a pretty decent document to get you started. So if we go next, it's asking you about timelines and milestones. So if you have key milestones or dependencies or constraints, you can input them here. And then the same with risks or mitigation strategies that you might have. And then some information on communication, documentation, and any additional information that you might decide to share with it. So it asks you if you're ready to submit. Okay, I just submitted. And PMI Infinity is now putting the document together. Now I have many tabs open, and I've been in Infinity the whole day, so I have actually a version of it that is downloaded already, and I'm going to share that in a minute. But you need to download this document when Infinity is generating it, because otherwise you will not be able to do it later. So I'm going to stop sharing for the moment just to pull out the document that I already generated earlier, because anyway you need to download it to your screen. So all right. Hopefully you can see it. So this is what the project charter looks like. So you have some introduction and background that it picked up and formulated based on the little information that I put in. It added project objectives, again, based on the description that I put in. It provided me with the scope, inclusions, exclusion, major deliverables. It also has a stakeholder analysis, a very short one. And then there's some information that obviously Infinity cannot include, like the names of the people, if those were not sharing the same, about some milestones and budget, because that information was not shared. But it will still provide some risks for you, a start of a communication plan, and then a few other information here. So again, this is something that is meant for you to take and to add to it and to update and obviously verify if the information is correct, as to your liking, is the way that you want to present it. But again, it's a way to help you get started.
Hello, Christina. I think we've lost you. Apologies. We seem to have a technical issue. Christina will try to join again. Just give us a minute so that Christina can join. Thank you. While we wait for Christina, on the chat option, we've posted the links to PMI Infinity. Feel free to just click on the link and just try to navigate through Infinity. If you have any questions, do post on the chat option, and Christina will be able to respond once she completes her presentation. So we posted the Infinity on the chat option. Also, don't forget to post your questions as well on the chat option. Thank you. Those of you that have just joined, our speaker is having a little bit of uh, technical issue, but she's rectifying it. She'll be able to join shortly. We've shared the PMI Infinity link on the chat option. Just feel free to click on it and navigate through PM Infinity. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to post on the chat option. Once again, apologies for the technical issue. We're trying to pull in Christina to continue with her presentation. If you can give us just a few minutes, we rectify this technical issue. Thank you. While we wait for Christina to rectify the technical issue, uh, have you registered for the Global Summit Series Africa that is going to be held in Kigali, in Rwanda? If not, we've shared also on the chat option the registration. Please do not miss out on this exciting event that is going to be in Kigali. Most of the PMI Africa team will be there, as well as global PMI global representatives and all most of our chapter leaders from the 24 chapters across sub-Saharan Africa region will be represented there. So don't miss out. We've shared the link to the registration for the PMI Global Summit Series Africa with the theme of Africa on Purpose.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, we can hear you, Christina. Yep.
All right. So sorry about this. I'm not sure what is happening to Teams today, but it's the second time I'm unable to use it properly. So sorry, and thank you so much for your patience. Let's see. Are you in the middle of a conversation, or can I go back in?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can share. If not, we'll just jump to Q&A, I guess.
Okay.
All right. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, wonderful. So hopefully you got to see everything that I had to say on the tools section, and you will go and check out the project charter and the risk management plan. And we also have some tutorials which are actually on our YouTube channel. And these are use cases of how you can utilize PMI Infinity for specific challenges that you may have. So again, these are pretty short, they're pretty straightforward to the point. So I would invite you to explore this. Now, given all the challenges that I have, I want to see if PMI Infinity will cooperate with me, because I want to show you how you might be utilizing them for one of your projects, for example. So what I have is that I have here a prompt, given Infinity information and context about my project. So again, the outputs that you receive from PMI Infinity are better if you give it more content. So instead of just maybe asking for a stakeholder analysis or things like that, you provide Infinity with more information on your project. And you don't have to disclose anything confidential. You can keep it general. So for example, in this prompt, you can say that as a project manager in the IT department, I am tasked with implementing a knowledge management system to streamline knowledge sharing, reduce redundancy, and improve team collaboration. And then I'm giving Infinity a bit more details. I'm telling you that it involves multiple departments with various needs, and I need to balance technical requirements with user adoption, and what are some of my key challenges. So for example, one of the areas that I may need help with would be stakeholder engagement and stakeholder management. So then I'm asking Infinity, what are some common categories of stakeholders in such a knowledge management system project? So Infinity already has the context. It knows kind of that it's an IT department. It knows a little bit more about my project. So it will take the information that I give it and will give me stakeholders that are categorized within these groups. So obviously you can go through the response, and you can see if this is, you always can take the response and then go to your team and say, okay, team, does this fit to us, or how do we need to enhance or adjust this? And as I mentioned, the sources are always available. So you can click here on the link that informed this response, and you can go straight to the link. And here are some recommended follow-up questions that you can ask Infinity. But I am going to go ahead and provide Infinity with another prompt, and I'm going to ask Infinity to help me analyze stakeholders to understand their interest, influence, and expectations for the knowledge management system implementation. So it already gave me a list of stakeholders, so I'm going to work with what Infinity gave me. Obviously, if you have other stakeholders, then you can provide that, that information to Infinity. So again, it provided me with the response. So assess interest, evaluate influence, and then it goes stakeholder by stakeholder. And again, it's always referencing a knowledge management system implementation, which is the context that that I gave Infinity. And then, for example, I can ask it, now that it has some more information based on the stakeholder analysis. Can you help me create a stakeholder engagement plan that outlines strategies for communication, involvement, and managing expectations throughout this project? and it's giving me an error because everything on my computer today seems to be giving me an error. But this is just an example of how you can go about Infinity and use the prompts to find out more information. You can refine the information that it gives you to customize it to your needs, and then go back to Infinity and ask deeper questions. All right, so I am going to stop sharing now as I restarted my computer. I don't have the presentation, but I'm going to be pulling it up shortly because I do have a couple of more slides that that I wanted to share with you. So bear with me for just a moment. If PowerPoint will open, okay. It's almost there.
Christina, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, Nelson here. As you're opening the presentation, I know part of the attendees are some that are actually hoping to get their PMP and in the process of looking for their PMP. I mean, in the process of sitting for their PMP exam, and they're preparing. If you could just, I don't know if you already have it in your slides, or maybe if you could just take a few minutes to cover what they could do with PMI Infinity, that would be very helpful to them as they prepare for the PMP exam.
Sure. Yeah. So with as you're preparing for the PMP exam, there are a few ways in which you could work with PMI Infinity. So, for example, if you are at the start of your certification process and you are just looking to find out more information, you can work with Infinity and with some of these prompts like, what is the PMP certification process? So you can ask Infinity for the PMP certification process. You can ask, what is the PMP exam format and how is it scored? You can also ask, what are common PMP exam questions and answers? And then you can also ask Infinity to give you tips and study plans to prepare for your PMP exam certification. And then what I would also recommend, depending on how you're going about your study. So for example, let's say you have a PMP practice exam, maybe from study hall or from another place, and you can tell Infinity, so here is my PMP practice exam on this topic, for example. So you can actually put in one of the questions. And you can ask Infinity, can you tell me what the correct answer is, and explain how I can arrive to this answer, or explain why this is the correct answer, or why the other answers are not correct. So this is kind of what I would recommend, how I would recommend to use Infinity, more of a, first of all, as a source of information, but then as a study buddy who can give you tips and a study plan, and then maybe even help you with some of the questions. I hope that helped and answer your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much. I believe that is very helpful to most of the candidates that are preparing for the PMP. Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful. All right, so I just had like basically one more slide to share. And that's to tell you that we're constantly enhancing PMI Infinity. We're always, as you saw in the timeline, we're always making updates, and we also want to release more and more functionality to help solve problems for project professionals. So here you can see some of the things that are in the works and will be coming. So You will be able with PMI Infinity to streamline your work and leverage Infinity agents. So we are working on Infinity agents. So you will be able to upload multiple documents, provide instructions, and let Infinity create your project artifacts, leveraging the agents. And then we will release functionality that will enable you to organize your work to support project outcomes. We're also working, we have actually a team dedicated to Infinity for organizations. So we're trying to see how we can support organizations and PMO specifically. So we're working at this moment with some pilot organizations that are helping us with this process. And we're looking to really allow XMOs or PMOs to generate insights on the state of different projects, on any trends or any risks. So supporting organizations to manage the product portfolio. So this is what is coming. So that's why I advise you, take Infinity as it is now, go through it, use it, but also come back to it, because we will be launching more and more functionality, and you will be, if you are subscribed to our newsletters, for example, our colleagues from marketing are always announcing when new features and new functionality will be released. So again, you have here the QR code that you can use. It can take you to the landing page. And then depending on whether you are a PMI member or not, you can choose the path to take to log into PMI Infinity.
Okay. Oh, come and see. Maybe I'm not comfortable in.
Oh, I see somebody talking. Is there a question?
They are both three big people.
So I see some things in the chat is a little bit difficult to follow and pay attention to at the same time. But maybe are there any other questions? Anything that somebody might want to go off mute and ask the question, as I also glance at the chat and try to answer what I can in the time that we have. I would say whenever I see something here about like not maybe necessarily trusting the answers that Infinity provides, I always recommend like going to the sources. Like Infinity will always, or whenever possible, but most of the time will have sources listed, so you can always go and check out the sources if you think that the answer is not something that you agree with or to your liking. And I would also recommend you to use that thumbs up or thumbs down. And also on the bottom left corner, there's a provide feedback button. So if you encounter any issues or you want to provide us any feedback, good or bad, use that button and it will allow you to provide feedback to PMI Infinity. I see a hand up. Yes. Hello. If you want to come off mute and ask your question. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm fine. I wanted to type in the chat, but I couldn't type. It's disabled. So I decided to raise my hand to ask my question. Okay. So just wanted to find out about Infinity. What type of AI is it? Is it agentic AI or is it a very large language model AI? Or I want to just understand what type of AI is this Infinity?
Yeah, so in PMI Infinity, it's a large language model. So it's a GPT. It's based on, as I mentioned at the beginning, on OpenAI GPT 4.0 and 3.5 at the moment, and we're working towards including agentic capability into Infinity. So this is what we're working towards. We don't have a timeline for the new features right now, but for sure it will be announced when this will be released. But I cannot tell you the exact date because we don't know that at the moment.
Thank you very much.
I see another hand up. If you could go off mute and ask your question.
Thank you for the presentation, Christina. And my question is PMI Infinity equipped with different languages? If not, when is it planned to equip it with? Because we are project managers all around the world, and sometimes we need to develop our documents in the language we are native. So I would like to know if it's equipped or not with different languages in the final document. Thank you.
Yes, for the chat experience, yes. So Infinity can chat with you in the language that you desire. So the chat experience provides that functionality. However, for the templates or the checklists or the documents that you download, I'm afraid those would be in English at the moment. But the chat functionality, whatever you have in the chat and copy from the chat, that can be in multiple languages.
Is there any plan to have documents in different languages? For example, project charter. Imagine we developed one. How can we then?
Yeah, I'm not sure at this moment, but I'll actually make a note of this and pose that question to the team. Take the feedback also to the team that this is something that is a feature that is needed and a functionality that would be beneficial.
Thank you.
Thank you as well. Anybody else that wants to come off mute and ask questions? Yes, please.
Yeah, so I'm back again. So you said that there's no specific timeline for this Infinity agentic version to be released, which suggests to me that it's going to evolve as we go along the years, to go through a number of refining process for it to become a better AI. So is that the understanding going forward?
Yeah, it's something that we're working on. So it's something we're actively working on, but I cannot give you a date when this will be launched. But it will, for sure will be announced by our colleagues. But it's something that our team is already working on. Hope that answers your question. I see another hand up. If you don't mind coming off mute and asking your question.
Good evening, Madam Christina.
Hello.
I just use PMI Infinity right now through the link they shared in the conversation. But it seems like it is difficult than ChatGPT to manipulate. Did you share the same view?
Can you give me more information, and in what way is it more difficult than ChatGPT? This is very helpful feedback for us. Sorry.
For GPT, for example, you will just use one window to answer your questions, to put your prompt. But here you have a lot of lists of things you have to go through it. That's made it more complicated. This is my view. I don't know if you share the same view.
I'm trying to understand what you're referring to. The chat experience is just the chat experience, and obviously it has the sources and the recommendations, but you can use the chat experience and you don't necessarily need to use anything on the left-hand side unless you want some augmented features. can you tell me what would make the chat experience better for you so that I can understand and send this feedback back to my colleagues?
For chat, for example, you have a window. You will just put your question, your prompt, and it will download everything about the subject. But here you have to go through things that are at the left. I think it is difficult to navigate than to use chat. Yeah.
Okay, so the
This is just the
navigation experience you
aspect,
mean is
yes.
more difficult. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for that feedback. We're always working also on improving the navigation and the UI of Infinity. So thank you for the feedback. You basically, if I understand correctly, you find the menu or the navigation a little bit too complex, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. I'll take that back to our team. I appreciate the feedback.
Thank you.
Yes, please. I see we have a few more minutes left, so maybe we can take a couple of more questions. Angelo, I see you are the first one with the hand up.
Yeah, no problem. Great presentation, by the way. So the gentleman mentioned the navigation and sort of like the options to the left in the sort of the navigation menu might complicate things. I kind of agree and disagree with him. The first few I think are necessary, like a prompt library. You have to go externally to find a prompt library. Once you get comfortable, you don't need a prompt library. The guided experience, that is a separate set of resources. Where I think he is correct, though, would be if possibly we can incorporate the charter, the charter. What's the other one? The risk management tool. Yeah, and all of the other ones. If you can initiate that wizard in the chat itself, say, hey, I want to create a project charter, maybe a prompt, say, hey, can you launch the wizard? And then it starts within the chat itself instead of having to click on a separate window. That I think would make it a lot more convenient, in my opinion.
I see what you mean. Okay, so integrate that functionality into the chat. Yeah.
Correct.
I get it. Yeah. No, thank you. This is great feedback. And this is something I think that with agentic AI, it's something that we're moving towards, but not there yet. I saw there was another hand up, but I don't see that anymore. So also, if you get any error messages or any issues, I do encourage you, please use the feedback button. That's also very important for us to know. It happens from time to time as with every product of this kind, but if it's something that it persists for you, please do let us know, because it's something we want to know about to be able to address it. All right, any other final question? Yes, I see a hand up.
Yeah, thanks so much for the presentation. I just wanted to point out that I've been having an error on my PMI Infinity. It's saying conversation API is throwing an error. Please try after some time. And this has been occurring for close to 2 weeks now. So I don't know whether there's any fix to that. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I'll let the team know. What I can recommend maybe is to clear your cache and try again and see if you continue to get this error. But this is something that I will definitely take back to my team as well. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, we are almost at time, and I really want to thank you for sticking with me through the team's issues that we had. I know it's been a difficult day all day today with Teams, but really appreciate you connecting at this time in your evening and having the patience while I restarted my computer. Hopefully this was interesting presentation and it made you curious about PMI Infinity. Hope you get to explore it, stay connected to it. And if you have any further questions, you can type them in the chat and I'll try to get back to you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Kristen.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
Thank you.
evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.